Hello. Um, I don't know why the screen is black. Let me quickly fix that. Hello. Display capture. This should work. That's the wrong display though. Nope. How do I do that? Yeah, I was having a couple of technical difficulties. Let's try again with a browser this time. Like that. 1 second, guys. Why can I not get this to work? Attempt number 3. Let's change the screen. There we go. I'm so back. Yes, hello everybody. How's everybody doing today? How would you rate your day from 1 to 10? And people are suggesting all the countries. Let's first chat a bit before I go into that. You can read the description to see how I'm going to rank these countries. Basically, it's about if I want to live there or not. And here are all the country flags. So from here I would be selecting, searching. Can we do historical ones? I don't have the flags for that, so right now no, but you're giving me a good idea that maybe another time I can actually do that. So I can have a stream dedicated to just ranking historical countries like, I don't know, the Soviet Union and stuff like that. Alright, I think that we're ready to start, and I'm going to look at the screen and see the first country. Romania. Okay, let's go to Romania. For everybody who doesn't know, I am from Bulgaria and Romania is my northern neighbor. So, would I live in Romania? I think that I prefer them than Bulgaria. They are quite big. What is there to say? I mean, they also suffer from like this depopulation issue, but I don't think it's that bad in terms of percentage. So Romania is decent. They have economy, they have industry, which is quite important. They have some very well developed cities, they have tourism. I think that maybe Romania is one of the best countries in the Balkans, I would say. And I would definitely, I mean, technically Romania isn't in the Balkans geographically, but politically people say that it's in the Balkans, and politically people also put Moldova into the Balkans. So I think that Romania is a very cool country. Again, among the top in the Balkans. Maybe you could argue Croatia is also up there. But right now, I think I'm gonna put Romania in B tier. Or maybe A. But on the lower side of A, so it's like A minus or something like that. I am a fan of Romania for sure. Next one, Sweden. Now, Sweden, I also like. But it's a relatively cold country. Guys, can you stop spamming, please? I'm gonna start timing people out so they know not to spam. You need to say it once and no need to spam. I'm gonna mute people who are spamming, so this is... yeah, please do not spam. There you go. This chat needs slow mode. The thing is that I don't know how to do it, especially live. So, going back to Sweden. It's a very decent country. Their population is definitely growing. They have industry, which is quite important. They have like 10 million people. Romania has 20 million. But I think it's a big country. But the thing is that it's... I would say... how do I put it? I'm not a fan of lack of sunlight, let's say. Because it's so north. I don't mind too much the cold. But it's like in the summer, it's like what? You have maybe 8 hours of sunlight if you're lucky. I mean in like the very south, so we're talking like Malmö, Göteborg, or how do you pronounce that? I'm not so sure. Even in Stockholm. I mean, Stockholm is a very beautiful city. I haven't been there myself, but I really want to go. So I think that I'm gonna put Sweden at S tier. No, at A tier. They're very decent. They have industry, they have growing population. And I would say among the best countries in Europe so far. So I'm a fan of Switzerland, of Sweden, also Switzerland. And these are prone to change, so I'm gonna be changing them. So if I decide that I want to move Romania down, which I think that I should do, I'm sorry to all my Romanian brothers, but I just realized that if I give every country A, I'm soon going to run out of this, and I already said that Romania is A minus. So basically I want to have some equal distribution, so I don't go out of the screen. Now, next one, I want to actually open Google Maps, so I will be back in just 20 seconds. I don't want to dox myself accidentally. There we go. I have now Google Maps open. So, yeah, Göteborg, Malmö, all of these cities, I don't think that they get a lot of sunlight. Even. And I would say, a big sun enjoyer. Alright, next one. I will look in the chat in 3, 2, 1, right now. And somebody said Mowozi, I don't know what that is, so next one is Hungary. So let me fix my overlay, so I can do it like that maybe? Okay, now we can see the chat, but I don't want to see the chat right now. Let me disable the chat really quickly, because or do I leave the chat? You know what, let me think about it. No, it's gonna interfere, you don't see like half of the screen, so I'm gonna remove the chat from the screen, unfortunately for you guys. Let me know if you enjoyed before I decide to completely nuke the chat and just remove it. So it's the main overlay screen. Here is the chat that I will just make invisible. There we go. So what did I say? Hungary. Wow, how did we get Turkmenistan's flag? And I just realized that Turkmenistan flag is just, I don't know, Muslim Hungary. That's interesting. So Hungary, I think that many people want to see me put them above or beyond, or above or under Romania. So I don't want to start any wars, but I'm gonna give my honest opinion. And while Hungary is an amazing country, I also take politics into account. You can read the video description. People are saying that Turkmenistan... People are saying that Tajikistan, not Turkmenistan, guys. I'm sorry, I just disappointed my Tajik viewers. We're going to get that into later. I have something easy about that. So, Hungary, where do we put them? Well, it's a decent country. Unfortunately, not many Hungarians live there due to history. And I don't know, I think that I would be somewhat depressed if I was Hungarian and I would have to deal with Viktor Orban, who, I don't know, people are saying that he's a dictator or stuff like that. I'm not so sure about their exact political situation. They're in the European Union. I don't know too much about Hungary. And again, I'm trying to give you my honest opinion. People are saying he is like a dictator. Okay, we can have a discussion about that, since I am always wanting to learn some new stuff. So I would appreciate if people stop spamming. Okay, this guy is spamming a lot. Let's see how we treat people who spam. There we go. Now he wouldn't spam. Hungary is F. Guys, can you have your opinions about Hungary? Because right now I'm sort of leaning towards C. Only because their political situation is not the best. He's banning freedom in media. No, you just don't spam. Hungary is mid from Britain. Hungary C. C, D. D tier, not gonna lie. I mean, I don't think that they are as well as D tier, because you have countries like, I don't know, Burkina Faso, where I don't know too much about them, but would I prefer to live in Hungary than Burkina Faso? Surely. Are you rating history? Not really. It's more like I go to this country to live and work, you know? Because then if we rate history, it's a completely different topic. I can make a whole another live stream that is just dedicated to me rating countries' history according to my opinion. I think that most people said C, and it's also my opinion. I'm sorry to my Hungarian viewers, but it's like that. It's all because of the political situation. If Viktor Orban just gets out of power there on part on BTR, but it's like I don't want to live there, work hard, pay my taxes, and then just, I don't know, my money gets stolen. It's like Bulgaria. I mean, Hungary really reminds me of Bulgaria in terms of their political situation and stagnation, loss of population, and all that. Alright, next one. Somebody said Denmark. Again, you're starting on some controversial topics. Because earlier in the stream, some Swede was fighting some Dane, or the opposite. I don't know exactly what was up with that. I don't know why I cannot speak today. So we have like 2 rivals here, and we have 2 rivals here, so great start. Now, Denmark, I would say that I would prefer to live in Sweden rather than Denmark, and the only reason for that is because Denmark doesn't have a lot of population. But Denmark also, I don't know, they have good esports, especially in CS2, which is what I watch. No, actually I'm gonna put them in A tier. I mean, they're decent, obviously, like these Nordic, Scandinavian countries. Depends how you put them. Denmark is really decent. For some it would be like better version of Sweden, for some it would be worse. But I think I see them pretty equally. It's just that Sweden, I would say, maybe has more opportunity. Also, I would say that the Swedish language is easier to learn than the Danish one. I don't know if you guys can agree, but it's basically, okay, would I rather live in Sweden, which has more people and easier language to learn, or Denmark, which has less people and a harder language to learn? And I would say that these countries have equal opportunity. So this is my take. Let me check the stream's health, by the way, so I know that we're not crashing. We have 86 people watching right now. Oh, wow. Okay, then let me step this up. Now, I want to remind you guys that most likely I cannot cover all the countries. So if somebody just uses this command, which is !tip, and decides to send me any amount of money, which is not required, but it would be greatly appreciated. If somebody decides to do that, I can just overwrite everybody's... I basically rate your own country no matter what. So if somebody wants to have priority, I would very much appreciate that. Now, somebody said suggest Turkey or Turkey. Turkey is, I think, how I spelled him here. Now, Turkey was in the thumbnail, and I don't exactly remember where I put them in the thumbnail, because when I was making it, I put Bulgaria into F tier and I was just joking around. Nothing was like serious. Now, Turkey, I would say, is a decent country. But again, like Hungary, their political situation, I would say not the best. In terms of food, yeah, Turkey, very good. Also, I forgot that I wanted to cover the struggles of everyday people, like wealth inequality, not just economy and population. People are saying F and some people are saying S. Now I think that Turkey is... my honest opinion is that Turkey is at B. Although they have like their weird political situation, if we rank them purely on food, I would say that Turkish food is better than Hungarian one. People are spamming the chat with... Guys, please do not spam. I can always spam you out. I don't know why I think that some of you are invincible. I'm putting Turkey at B. I think that being a poor Turk is worse than being a poor Hungarian. But if we're talking about like the average middle class, then I would say that Turkey is a very good country. They have a lot of beaches, it's warm, they have very good food. It's just that their political situation, which maybe temporary. I would say it's not the best right now, so I'm gonna leave it with that. We're yet to cover F and S tier. Also, no offense to everybody, this is just where I would prefer to live. So, which is in the video description, so I hope that people don't get mad about it. It's just where I prefer to live. Which means that I'm more likely to live in Turkey than Hungary. Doesn't mean that Turkey is better in any way. And if you have your own opinion, it's fine. And we have 2 Canadian dollars, and of course somebody suggesting Canada. Let's put them on the screen and I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. Now, I myself am from Bulgaria, and even as a Bulgarian who spends some time on the internet, I have heard of Justin Trudeau, or I don't exactly know how to pronounce his name, but people say that he is a very bad politician, like he ruined Canada. I don't know exactly why. I think it's because of the... Please stop spamming Azerbaijan. Again, I am gonna time everybody out who spams. While Canada is a decent country with a very beautiful nature, I don't think that they're in the best place right now, and I have heard a lot of Canadians just want to leave the country because of how bad the political situation. Not the political situation, maybe the country is in a crisis in general, which is, I think because of cost of living crisis. I think that Canada is very expensive. And also some problems with drugs, like in the United States. But I think that Canada is very much decent, and if Canada didn't have Justin Trudeau stayed above our worst prime minister to date, exactly what I have heard. I don't know exactly why. I assume it's because of the drugs or stuff like that, because I heard that Canada is just giving free drugs to people, and it's supposed to... People are supposed to get these drugs not from somebody on the street, but from a trusted source, which... It was an interesting try. Portugal did try that. I actually have Google Maps. Portugal did legalize all drugs and they fixed their drug problem, but Canada didn't fix their drug problem. And while I was scrolling into Google Shorts, I was always thinking that Vancouver is this very nice city. But when I heard some stuff that are happening in Vancouver, I was like, damn, is this really Canada? So Canada, I would say, really fell off. If some stuff that didn't happen in the last 5 years, they would definitely be S tier and among my favorite countries, but unfortunately they cannot be there. Also, Canada, I think, is too expensive and the wages are just not keeping up. So I'm gonna put them at B tier, and I hope that Canada can improve and go to S tier. Unfortunately, I do not see myself living there because of how expensive it is and all the issues. Now, next one. I'm gonna look at the chat in 3, 2, 1. Moldova. Moldova. Now, we have Moldova. We have already rated Romania, so... Again, I think my chat wants me to start some controversy, so... No matter where I put Moldova, I would make some people mad. If I put them above Romania, people would get mad. If I put them under Romania, people would get mad. But where would I rather live? I would say, in my general honest opinion, that I would very much love to travel to Moldova. It may be one of the poorest countries in Europe, but it also means that it's cheap. And I have heard that Chisinau, the capital, I hope that I'm pronouncing it correctly, is very decent. And I mean very decent. It looks like a good city, you have a lot of parks. I haven't been there. I really want to visit Moldova, so maybe next year I can go to Moldova. And I'm a big fan of Moldova. I think that Moldova is a cool country. Yeah, sure, they are poor, but while people are saying C or D, I think that Moldova has a lot of potential. Let's not forget about that. Unless in the future they get annexed into Romania. But I think that it's fair. Somebody subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Their name are Blitz. Thank you. Or, yeah, Blitz. Thank you very much for that. I would put Moldova in B tier, actually. Because of how cheap it is. Like, Moldova is one of the cheapest countries in Europe, and Chisinau is just, or Chisinau in Bulgarian, is a very decent city, from what I have heard. Yes, got timed out and hard from rewriting history. By the way, don't spam again. There you go. Somebody got timed out. So yeah, I would definitely love to visit Moldova. If we're talking about tourism, Moldova could be S tier. But I have to actually live in Moldova. So this brings it down. And obviously they have problems with Transnistria, which they're no longer in a war. I wouldn't say that there are problems, but just because of Transnistria, Moldova cannot join the European Union because they cannot... because technically Transnistria also would get into the European Union and this could restart another war and stuff like that. So it's a place that exists. I would definitely love to visit, but not necessarily live there. Suggest Nepal. Oh my god, somebody joined as a honorary Bulgarian. Thank you, Thunder. I do remember you if you're going to ask me that. I think that I said something about Nepal. Now, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion about Nepal, and it's that I don't know too much about the nation. It's cool. It's very mountainous. I think that I can handle their language, but I would honestly prefer to live in India. Like, why would I go to Nepal if I can just, I don't know, go here? If it's similar, I would say. I think that in Nepal you can get by with speaking Hindu. Or this is what I have heard. Maybe in Pakistan too. And I don't know, I think that India has a lot of cool food. I'm not too aware about Nepal. So I don't think that I can rank them. I don't know too much about the country to rank them in terms of their politics, stuff like that. So I'm sorry, but I cannot rank Nepal. I don't feel competent ranking them. Suggest Germany. There we go. Germany. Now, Germany. Let me go to Europe. I'm not the biggest fan of Germany, which doesn't mean that Germany is bad. I like Germany. I think that Germany is very cool. Especially the southern part. It's like I have bookmarked this place on Google Maps, which I'm basically bookmarking places that I want to go. This one I really like. And it's, you can argue that's basically not Germany. That's like Austria or Switzerland and like that. Which I have spoken previous times in my live streams that my favorite type of terrain is basically lakes and mountains, which is why I like Switzerland so much. We can go to Montreal, Switzerland, and you can just see that I'm a big fan of this. I'm definitely a fan of this. So if I'm gonna live in Germany, I'm definitely going some deep south stuff. Thank you, Zaha Atra, for the subscription to the channel. Maybe Constance would be a cool place, but yeah, I would definitely live somewhere in here. Or maybe Hamburg and Kiel. Thank you, Felix Mapper, for the subscription to the channel. I'm definitely going somewhere that has water. I have heard that Baden-Württemberg... Oh my god, another subscriber. I think that I need to mute these sounds. They're getting out of hand. I think that Baden-Württemberg has, like Venice... Oh my god, people are just subscribing left, right, and center. That's odd. So, Germany. Again. Oh my god. Okay, I'm stopping them. I'm sorry. That's the wrong overlay. Can I just stop the sound, please? Subscriber alert. I don't remember how to stop the sound, so overlay. You know what? I'm just gonna do that. Now basically you don't hear the music, so I need to turn it up. There we go. I think that this is a bit more handleable. So, if I can actually finish what I was saying, Baden-Württemberg has a lot of rivers, what I have heard. So it's basically like Venice. And also this place I discovered, Friedrichshafen, which I would say looks very decent. But speaking about rather which exactly location of Germany I would live. Germany, the strongest economy in Europe, strong industry, I would say good people, and has the diverse population, which I would say is good. But the taxes, man, like, I don't know about taxes too much in like these two countries, but I would say that they're very much equal. Somebody's spamming me too much. Okay, let me also put my phone away. Now, Germany, their taxes are insane. And if I'm gonna pay taxes, I would prefer to pay them in like these countries where I would say I get more benefit from the money I spend rather than in Germany. So let me be transparent. I'm actually going to visit Munich very soon. I think that this September. So I'm going to Germany as a tourist, and then I can give you a more accurate opinion. And I would put them in B tier just because of again, it's like taxes, 40% I have to pay, which is very insane. I think that Germany has the most taxes in Europe. Or one of the most. That is not like Luxembourg and of these countries. Germany is insane when it comes to taxes. But it's also very orderly. And actually I'm gonna bump Germany up. I think that it's fair to them. I think that Germany is a very decent country. Maybe not S tier because of how expensive it is to live there. I mean, not the groceries, but like, good luck getting a rent in Berlin. I have heard something that I don't really like about Germany. And that is, when you rent, you don't rent the furniture. You just basically move in with your furniture. Which is foreign to me. Because in Bulgaria and most of the Balkans, and I assume a lot of places in the world, you rent and then you just get the furniture. I don't want to say for free, but basically the furniture comes with the rent. And in Germany, it isn't that, and I'm not a big fan of that, but it doesn't matter. I'm just telling you what I know. Please do Northern Ireland. I cannot do that since I don't have a flag for that. And it's like part of the UK, so if you want me to do the UK, I can do that. Somebody said Ireland. Speaking of places that are too expensive to live, let's go to Ireland. Now, I know that Ireland is super expensive. Although they have like a big GDP per capita, I think I saw a video where people were just like hundreds of people, maybe 100 people, were queuing up just to go to, what's the word? It's again with rents. It has to do with rents. So basically 100 people were queuing up to, not to buy the property, but just to check it, which I think is insane. Like, just to have a chance, hundreds of people are going there. I think that's too extreme, man. It's like the cost of living at that point, I would say, is too much. Also, I don't know too much about Ireland. I really want to go there. So right now, I think that I'm either not going to give an opinion on Ireland, or I don't know, since I don't know too much about them. Ireland has too much troubles. I would agree, this is what I have heard. It seems like a common trend in many English-speaking countries that they are just on the decline. And I don't know why that is. It's, I would say, a sad story. And yes, I'm calling Ireland an English-speaking country despite them having their own language, which is the Irish language, but it's like not practiced too much, I think. Like, some rural areas are majority Irish, but I think that the rest is pretty much English speaking. So unfortunately I cannot rank Ireland. I don't know too much. Suggest Macedonia. Macedonia. Now, I'm from Bulgaria, and I don't care about too much like the divide between Bulgarians and Macedonians. I really hope that this issue gets resolved and we can actually live together in a decent life. So I don't know, it's basically like people are leaving Bulgaria, people are leaving Macedonia, and we could be strong together, not just Bulgaria and Macedonia, but like the whole of the Balkans. So we wouldn't rely on Germany sending us money, and both countries wouldn't get depopulated so fast, because Bulgaria has lost like 2 million people, North Macedonia has lost a lot, and their Albanian minority is growing. I saw that Albanians in Macedonia are basically 25% of the population, which, for good or for worse, this is not the country designed for Albanians, and let's not forget that it's a whole different religion. But I don't mind Macedonia, believe it or not. Many people would say because I'm Bulgarian I would automatically put them in F, but that's not the case. I would put Macedonia as the same place where I would put Bulgaria, which would maybe be D tier or maybe WoW C tier. Just because I'm not too big fan of Bulgaria as a whole, so Macedonia should inherit all of that. I haven't been there, I really want to go. But it's like, tough, man. Also, like, they are not in the European Union. At least they are in NATO. It's a tough decision. I have said in my Discord that if I get fed up with Bulgaria and I cannot move to Switzerland, I'm going to live in North Macedonia, maybe in Ohrid, just to see what it's like. Like, how people would treat me as a Bulgarian living in Macedonia. Would they be supportive or not? Which is a big fact that I actually right now have to consider. I'm ranking this as a Bulgarian moving to any of these countries. There are plenty of Bulgarians in Germany, like 500,000. And nobody would care if another Bulgarian goes to Germany. But if a Bulgarian goes to Macedonia, I think that I would get treated poorly. Can the person who suggested Macedonia, or if you have any Macedonian viewers, let me know how I would get treated exactly as a Bulgarian, because I don't think that people would welcome me too warmly. I think that people would be like, oh, you're a Bulgarian, so you want Bulgaria to annex Macedonia, you're a Tatar, you're everything. So I think that I wouldn't get treated too well in Macedonia just because I'm Bulgarian, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I would put them alongside Hungary. But again, if they resolve all of these issues and Bulgarians and Macedonians actually get to live in peace and not in this always conflict that Bulgaria insults Macedonia and Macedonia responds, and it's just a race to the bottom, I would say. It's truly a race to the bottom. Rewriting history, you don't like Bulgaria. Pretty much, I have lived there too much. I'm not a fan of Bulgaria, for sure. So what I was saying, that Bulgaria and Macedonia fighting, it's pretty much a race to the bottom. We're just seeing who would collapse first, rather than improving our relations and economy and being strong together like the whole Balkan region. Suggest Serbia. There we go, Serbia. I think that the Balkans are somewhat hard to do. Now, Serbia, great food, but it's like their political situation, like you can see that Kosovo is ... Is Kosovo Serbian? Well, I don't know, I cannot tell you. But it's like you have also Republika Srpska, you have Montenegro. So Serbia, while being a decent country, I would say that their politics are not the best. And by politics I mean not that they're a Russian ally, but it's like they're very against the European Union and conservative and all that. So I really don't know where to put them. I think that if I go to Serbia, people would be very welcoming, very warm, which may not be true, but this is like the feel that I'm getting. Somebody said high D or low C. I really don't know. I think that Serbia is a great country overall, but it's like we're throwing politics into the mix. Also, Serbia, I would say, is not as wealthy as Bulgaria, which is, you can see the GDP per capita. They're not losing population too much, but it's like the politics, man. What if I live in Serbia and tomorrow a war starts between these two, or something happens? Because, like, if there are a Russian ally and Russia decides to do something and Serbia decides to support them, I mean, that's not too cool. I would prefer to live in a country that would avoid conflict, which is why Switzerland is my favorite country. I'm yet to get Switzerland, so you know what, so people stop asking. Switzerland. I'm actually going to put them in S tier right now. There we go. Just so I get it out of the way. Yeah, I just want to avoid all the conflict, all the wars. And Serbia, out of the Balkans, I think is the most likely country to get involved in a war, maybe. Depends how you look at it. So I'm gonna put them together with these two. Again, if somebody disagrees with me, like, please let me know. Because as I have said, I really want to learn. I don't care about being right. So if somebody says, no, Serbia is like good and stuff like that, they give me some examples how cheap there it is, because I put Moldova so high just because of how cheap it is. And if Serbia is truly a great country, okay, we have somebody from Macedonia. I suggest Macedonia. Macedonians in general hate Bulgarians due to nationalism, yes, but you won't be outright harassed, and there is a large Bulgarian minority, which sounds weird if you're... So you'll be fine. Okay, that's good. This is what I cared about. Okay, we have a citizen of Bulgaria, so Thunder just increased his... also, I was going to do Slovenia, but this guy just decided to spam, so I'm not going to do Slovenia. So, next one seems to be Poland. Now, Poland, despite not being as wealthy, I would say that I'm a big Polish fan. A big Polish fan. Like, Poland as a country, it's super beautiful. Top 5 in Europe of beauty, I would say. Like, Krakow, Katowice, these cities are insanely well built. Insanely well built. So much history. Like, Poland, truly a great country. Like, look at this. It's because I'm also Slavic, I wouldn't understand the Polish language without spending 10 years of my life to learn it. But it's like, I really like Poland. They seem to have recovered a lot from all the wars. They seem to be doing well. I don't know about their politics. I know that they had a president that was named Duda. I think that he's no longer the president. Actually, I'm sure that he's no longer the president. I don't know why. I don't know if he was a good president or not. But I think that Poland, despite being close to these guys, which are having conflicts, is a decent country. You have beaches, you have mountains, it's a very large country. I think that the people are nice and welcoming. I mean, I know that they're not too approving of migrants and people who are the LGBTQ plus stuff. But it's like I'm neither of these two. Or, yeah, they are not welcoming to Muslims, I think. So I don't think that I would have any problem with Poland. I actually like Poland a lot, and I would put them above Germany, just for personal preference, which may be wrong. I am a young person, I'm 21 years old. Poland is highly underrated, I highly agree with that. Poland is for sure underrated. But yeah, I'm 21 years old, and I'm yet to travel the world. And you know what? I want to go back to this tier list in like 2 years and just fix all of these mistakes if I have any. Maybe I go to Macedonia and I put them in S tier just because I like it so much. Maybe I go to Poland and put them in S tier. Maybe I go to Germany and put them in S tier. Like, who knows? All of these countries I haven't been to. Oh, actually I have been to Switzerland. But apart from that, I haven't visited any of these countries for now. So I really want to visit these countries and just take it with a grain of salt. Basically, these countries I haven't visited, and I'm ranking them basically from what I have heard online, which is not the best way to rank countries, you know? Rate Austria. Austria. Now, Austria is cool. I don't know about their taxes, I think that I should learn, but there is a place here called Hallstatt, which I don't know about their Google Maps. But this place looks exactly like my type. And also Austria, of course, has many of these lakes. I think that Austria is a cool place. Vienna, also very cool. Innsbruck, I will go there. So, Austria, I'm leaning towards S tier. The reason for that is because Austria is in the European Union, but not NATO. Which means that if a war were to happen, I can technically get by in Austria. And yeah, I don't think it's as expensive as Germany. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I haven't heard any people throw insults at me because I'm being unreasonable. So if I am, just please tell me you're wrong. Austria is actually the most expensive country in Europe or whatever. Like, please tell me if I'm wrong. But I think that I'm gonna put Austria in S tier just because of how cool it is. And it's like, I can be in the European Union, unlike Switzerland, but I can avoid war, technically, because Austria is not looking to join NATO, I think. I don't know even if they can, depends on their treaty after the Second World War. Alright, next one. Do Iran. Oh my god, Iran. What's next, guys? Israel? This wasn't supposed to happen, by the way. And Thunder just donated for something. I don't know what that is. Thank you very much, Thunder. You're very active. I really appreciate that. Is there a country you want me to check out? Please ping me so I can know before I do Iran. Sleeping. That's not a country. Let me know any country if you want to see one. So, Iran. I think that Iran is a very cool country before the revolution. I have heard that it's very cheap and that the people are very nice, which is common in this region. But it's like, man, I cannot live there. It's like, if the Islamic Revolution and like this government wasn't in charge, I think that Iran would be a country that I would very much want to live there. But it's like super Islamic. And technically, I am from Bulgaria. I am born a Christian. So, it's like Iran is not accepting as Saudi Arabia, let's say, with Christians and immigrants and like that. Now, I want to visit for sure, but it's like, I don't think that I can get by in Iran. I mean, didn't millions of people flee because of the revolution and me going to live there? Yeah. I think that we're going to utilize one of these tiers. think I'm gonna put them on D tier. It's like, when you hear Iran on the news, it's nothing good. And I don't mean any harm to the people or anything like that. I'm sure that the Korean people living inside North Korea would be generally cool people if they weren't under that regime. So I'm technically not ranking the people, I'm ranking the country as a whole. So the Koreans, good people, but North Korea as a country, no. Similar with Iran. I think that the Iranian people are very good people, but it's like, damn, the government. I cannot. It's like, being a Christian inside Iran seems like a death sentence. Which again, I may be wrong. I would love to hear some people come and correct me. But this is like what I think. Next one, Lithuania. Lithuania. Now, recently, when I was doing a visiting your cities on Google Maps, I was in Vilnius, and I quite liked Lithuania. It has some variety. You have a coastline, you have some stuff, but the thing is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but Lithuania has lost the most people since the collapse of communism. So it's like, if 25% of Lithuanians no longer decided to call Lithuania home, why should I? So I really don't know a lot about Lithuania. Maybe I would prefer Latvia or Estonia out of the bunch. I think that Lithuania is great, with great history, especially, maybe it has better history than these two, objectively. It was Latvia probably. It's like Latvia and Lithuania are fighting for this. Similar situation is in Latvia. Ever since the fall of communism, it's like this downfall. Which should mean that things are cheap, they're using the euro, European Union, NATO. But it's like, if Russia were to invade, Lithuania could fall in like 2 weeks. Which technically NATO reformed their doctrines and all that. But it's like, as a person that wants to avoid war at all costs, I'm definitely going to Switzerland and Austria. So Lithuania being maybe on the front lines. Not a big fan of that. Suggest Iceland. Yeah, let me do Iceland by timing you out for 10 minutes because you're very persuasive. Also the United Kingdom. Guys, please do not spam. Let me see. Yeah, there you go. Now you won't spam. Lithuania, I mean, I would rather be in Poland. Let's say that. Not that Lithuania is in general bad. Okay, thank you for letting me know that he said Egypt. I'll do Egypt. By the way, can you confirm, Thunder, that you said Egypt, so I don't take somebody's word for that? I cannot really scroll up. I'll put Lithuania at B, but definitely on the lower end. Or maybe C. Yeah, Egypt, okay. Actually, I'm going to utilize this tier because I would technically prefer Romania, Turkey, and Canada than Lithuania. Okay, let's do Egypt now. Egypt. I don't know why I got the Iraqi flag. It was Iraq, right? I think it was. So, going to Egypt. I know that they have conflicts with Ethiopia of like the dam that is going to shut down the water supply to Egypt. So Egypt is like very, how do I put it? Vulnerable, let's say. And also I cannot visit Egypt too much on Google Maps. It's like, this is Cairo. Don't like 10 million people live here and I cannot visit too much on Google Maps. So I don't know too much about Egypt. Yeah, this is what I can see from Egypt. I mean, they have the pyramids. Maybe as a place to visit, it would be Almost 25 million people live there. Well, it's taking new Cairo city and like new capital city and all that. So yeah, 25 million people, and this is like all the Google Maps we get, just the highways. It's like I cannot spend enough time in Egypt. Like Luxor, Aswan, I think are cool places. Even Siva, which is right here. In my Discord, let me show you. Just so you know that I'm not a fraud. There we go, this is my Discord. If we go to... If you join my Discord, which let me promote it real quick. Exclamation Discord. Discord. Exclamation Discord. There we go. If you go to get roles and click this row, which is rewriting history enjoyer, you can get access to my Twitter, which is where I share my daily thoughts. And also cities bucket list, which is all the cities I want to visit. And if we go to Africa, yeah, you can see I want to visit Cairo / Giza, since it's technically two separate cities, but you know, Luxor and Siva. So I am a fan of Egypt, but I would definitely not want to live there. I mean, I have started learning Arabic, but if I'm gonna live in an Arab country, it's either the Emirates or Saudi Arabia, maybe Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, somewhat, but Egypt, not too much. It's like they have 100 million people, and I also think that their president is a bit of an asshole. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the political situation in Egypt, it's like, I think that they have a lot of corruption, which is not my thing. It's like I want to escape Bulgaria and their corruption. So I'm gonna put Egypt at C tier, which is right now the most populated tier. Again, they can easily fix their political situation, their treaties with Ethiopia and all that, and Egypt can actually become a decent place to live. But also, I'm like from Europe and going into something that is very warm, like Egypt. Like, I cannot go to Sudan and live, or even to United Arab Emirates. I cannot handle heat too well, because I don't want. It's like I prefer Switzerland and Austria, and even these Nordic countries. I can handle cold, but I really hate heat, you know. Alright, next one. Argentina. Argentina. Oh, I think that Argentina is awesome. But it's like they have... Speaking of politics and their political situation, they have a few. They have a few issues. I think that they have a president that just came and basically improved the country. But it's like, I would prefer Uruguay. I think that it's the country in South America where I would go and live. I think that Buenos Aires and the whole of Argentina has this, what's it called? Pickpocket rate. People steal too much there, which is like, damn. Or maybe even Chile has a better situation, but like Argentina is very cheap. From what I have heard, it's like everything is so cheap, and the country is not that bad. Again, it can improve. And I think that they have like the best arable land. Like, Argentina is a very cool country. I would actually put them in B tier. And if they improve, they can go up to A. It's like their crime is a bit out of hand. But it's like, it would be very cool if you're Argentinian and, I don't know, Argentina wins the World Cup again and all that. Because, yeah, it's a cool hype, you know, you like your country winning. So, yeah, Argentina, I would gladly want them to improve, go to A tier, and maybe the S tier be the best country of South America, but right now they're far away from that. Also, my father was recently in Argentina, and he bought me a couple of things. I have an original Argentinian whiskey next to me, that maybe I should start sipping while we're at it. But it's like, since they have the claims over the Falkland Islands, which is awarded there was like 40 years ago, in 82, technically. So what's 22 years ago? 42 years ago, I'm sorry. My father bought me some cigarettes from Argentina, and they had a label which says Islas Malvinas son Argentinas, which means the Falkland Islands are Argentinian. Which it's like, there was the war 42 years ago, and they're still claiming these lands as theirs, and go as far as putting something close to propaganda on their cigarettes. So that's interesting. Next one, Italy, it seems like. Now, I have been to Italy, the northern part. I enjoy them very much. Come on, like that. I think that Italy is a very cool country. Especially, I really want to visit this one, Riva del Garda, which is a place that I have showed a couple of times on my live streams. So let me show you how beautiful this place is. There you go. Now, look at me in the eyes and say that this is not awesome. I think that you can rent these with like your friends. 12 euros, not that bad. Honestly, you're 4 people, each one pays 4 euros, that's like 3 euros per person, and you can just go there. I think that this place is awesome. I am definitely going to North Italy if I go to live there. It's like, look at this, like, come on. This place, amazing. And it's not just this place, I have also been in Como, which I didn't like too much. Bellagio maybe is a better place to live. But definitely like the northern part is like amazing. For sure, amazing. Their taxes not that bad. Their way of living, the Italian way of living is, I would say, enjoyable. They're like not like Germany where they're too harsh on working like that. People from Germany call the Italians lazy, which I find funny. But it's like I'm contemplating putting them in S tier just because of... I don't know, because I was there, you know. Just because I was there and I actually know what it's like. People say that it's not that bad, but I mean, every country is S tier if you're a billionaire, I think, except like North Korea and Iran and all that. But it was a cool country, especially like the nature and the architecture. The south, when I look at some, like, I don't know, I think Catania is one of the dangerous places in Europe, which on Google Maps doesn't seem like that. Very divided between north and south, but I think I'm putting Italy in S tier for now. So just Norway. Now, to break the character of these two Scandinavian countries being in A tier, I'm gonna put Norway at S tier. I think that their government is very good at handling money. Very, very good at handling money. Like the Norwegian oil fund. Like, imagine if this was, I don't know, Bulgaria, where the country is like, oh, well, we have oil, which means that the politicians have oil, not the people. And I think that this oil fund is going to do a lot for Norway. Like, the Norwegian people are doing very good. And also their nature, it's like, I went somewhere random, and it's very good. Norway may be too expensive. They may not get a lot of sunlight. They may be cold. But out of these three, I think that I prefer Norway the most. Also, I'm a fan of Norwegian music, especially metal that comes from this region. If you know, you know. So I'm gonna put Norway at S tier. I think that their government is very good at handling money. Which is exactly what I want, since I'm a Bulgarian. Now, I still am not asked to do Bulgaria, and if I am asked to do Bulgaria, I think that I'm gonna rant on 30 minutes for all of their problems, so I may do Bulgaria last. Let me check my live stream really quickly. We have 67 people watching, which is, I would say, very strong. I had some people leave because I think that they didn't enjoy my rambling. We actually had 100 viewers at one point. That's dope. Let me turn on the lights so I can actually see. And somebody said suggest Finland, which I guess is fair. Let's get rid of these. Like, what's next? Greenland, Iceland, the Faroe Islands. Actually, I want to visit the Faroe Islands, so technically Denmark should get some points because they own these islands. Now, Finland, despite being ranked as the happiest country in Europe, which is a view that many Finns are surprised and don't share, I'm not a big fan of Finland myself. I think that Finland is a bit too expensive for my liking. Even like Norway is expensive, but like Finland is, I would say, extra expensive. And they don't have the Norwegian mountains. Let's not forget, and like the fjords and all that. Like, let's not forget that I'm a fan of mountains and lakes. Finland, well, it has lakes. Most of them are frozen, especially like in the north. It's a cool country, but I'm gonna give it an A. I cannot give them too much. But it's like they solved homelessness and all of that, so... And Brolov, Switzerland, yeah. It's like a fact. I'm not doing Sealand. But I can do Brazil. Now, I don't know too much about Brazil. Brazil, another country, it's like, I would say that they should have been a global power. And it's unfortunate that due to corruption and all that, Brazil never became a world power. Which is a shame, I think. Some places like Rio de Janeiro, I haven't heard too good stories, even in Sao Paulo. So I really don't know where to rank Brazil. Let me get some of your guys' opinion. Where would you guys rank Brazil? Since right now I'm leaning towards B tier, which I think is where I put Argentina. Which is like, yeah, the country has its problems. But it's like, if they fix them, only if Brazil fixes these issues, they are like, could be S tier. C, F, C, B, A, F, C, A, B, F, A, C, B. Yeah, I'm also between C and B. Maybe B, but on the lower end, so B minus. It's a cool country, but it's like the crime, man, and the politics. Not that, I mean, if I technically go and move to Brazil, I would need to learn how the country works, you know. It's not like the police who you should be afraid by in Brazil. It should be somebody else. Which I may be wrong, again, please let me know. Also, we can go into F and D tier, so please guys start suggesting something. I think that I can reshuffle some of these and make it more fair. Suggest Slovakia. Slovakia. Now, Slovakia is cool, but it's like, I would prefer either Poland or Czechia. I think that Košice is nice, Žilina is also nice, I was here and I think I was here, no I don't remember. I mean on Google Maps when I say I was here. It looked like a very cool place, Košice also nice. Bratislava, I mean, I was supposed to go to Slovakia this summer, but the plan fell through. I would say that I'm not like the biggest fan of Slovakia, because again, I would prefer Czech beer or Polish nature and all that. But Slovakia is like a chill country, like mountains, peace, it's cheap. But not my favorite country out of the region. Because it's all about competition. It's not like Slovakia is a bad country, it's like there are some countries which are objectively better, at least to me. So I would put Slovakia in A tier, because it's, you know, they're European, they have stuff going on for them. They're not that bad. Yeah, Slovakia is fine. Suggest Russia. Oh my god. Russia. This we didn't do Israel. Now, we have Russia. Before I give you my take, can people in the chat tell me what they think of Russia? Where would they put it? S, A, B, C, D, F. What do you think of Russia? Vodka A. Confirm. S, D, S, B, C, F, B, S, C, D, S, D, F, S, F. Wow. Definitely C. Okay, guys, can you please stop spamming? I would do something right now. I want to do a poll. So it's more clear. How would you rate Russia? Let's add a couple of options. I'm gonna skip some because I have only 4 options. S, A, B, no, let's do C. There we go. Unfortunately, I have to skip 2 of the options because I can only do 4 options in here. Now we can vote on this. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break and be here in like 1 minute while you guys are voting, so be right back. Hello there. Have 80 votes. Some people, 27% are saying S tier. Okay, that's interesting. So it looks like C is what my audience prefers. But it doesn't matter what my audience prefers, it matters what I prefer. Now, let me end this poll. I'll make sure to remember the results. And I want to ask you a different question before I move on. Since Russia is a big country, it's only fair that we spend more time there discussing it. Now, I want to ask you, what if Putin wasn't the president and we had a more Western Russia? So what if Russia was a lot more Western and basically Putin wasn't the president? So basically you have like Russia in the European Union, let's say, or something like that. Basically Russia is Western, that's what I'm trying to say, like a Western government. What is this rating based on? Well, how you like the country. It's all that. If you would prefer to live there, right now if it's Putin is not the president and Russia is very Western. In terms of, I don't know, maybe joining NATO and the European Union, let's say. Or maybe they're just pro-Western, but they do their own thing. It doesn't really matter because it hasn't happened already. Now I can speak a lot about Russia's nature and cities. They have some very impressive underground in Moscow. St. Petersburg is very impressive museums. Stalingrad, which is here, very impressive monuments. And Russia, in general, I like a lot. But it's like, you throw in the politics and it's like, oh man. I mean, you have Russian music, you have Russian theater, you have Russian everything, and poetry, and all that, and... Okay, please don't spam. I'm not afraid of timing out people who are spamming. But it's like, if you separate the people from the politics, Russia is a very decent place. But then you get into the politics where stuff are happening and you're like, man, why? Because my audience is pretty much agreeing that Russia would be a very good place if it weren't for Putin. Now, some people are F tier constantly, which is like 15%, 14%. Which makes me think that 15% of the people right here don't like Russia regardless of their government. Which I don't think it makes a lot of sense, but that's, you know, their opinion. Now, I can rank Russia according to now. Do I want to move to Russia? Absolutely not. It's like I'm not dying in any war. Doesn't matter if I support the cause or not. It's like insane how these things are going. To visit as a tourist, maybe I was even considering Kaliningrad because I saw that you can go from Gdansk to Kaliningrad via bus. And this is one way to get into Russia. So, I don't know, I'd maybe put them in B tier. Because they could have been so good, but it's like... I'm not a fan of their politics, like, again, it's like... The wars, like... It's not even Ukraine, it's like Georgia, Chechnya... It's like everything, and I don't think that the country is doing too well economically due to the sanctions. That's all I have to say without starting a third world war. But again, Russia, it doesn't mean that it's a bad country, it could be a lot better. But these are the circumstances right now. I think that if you asked me a couple of years ago, the answer would be different. Maybe Russia would be in A tier if you asked me a couple of years ago, but right now that's the situation. Suggest Portugal. Let's go to Portugal. Now, Portugal, it's not that bad. It's beautiful, people are chill. It's like one of the places where people go to retire. I think that Portugal is a good country. Not a lot of corruption. I mentioned their problems with drugs earlier, which they resolved. I think that I prefer Portugal over Spain. Depends where you go in Spain. This city in Spain I really liked. Somebody suggested me that I take a look at this city. I liked it. So Spain is cool. Also this tutorial I also like. This place. It's not... I don't know if I can consider this a city. And here we also obviously have Germany. So Portugal, especially if you consider these islands, I don't know, maybe I'm living here in Madeira. if I have to choose. I think that Portugal is a very decent country. They can grow, their leadership seems competent. Although Portugal is being memed on and people are saying that Portugal is part of the Balkans. So I guess it feels a lot more like home. Overall, I have a positive view of Portugal. Because I haven't been there, I don't know any Portuguese people. But I'm gonna put them at A tier. Although I know that they have some of their problems. And my rating could drop. But I think that I currently have a positive view of Portugal. Now, again, I was going to do Greece, but this guy just kept spamming Greece. So please do not spam. If you say it once, I'll see it. Suggest India. There we go. I couldn't do Nepal. At least I can do India. Now, India depends. Right now, if I were to move to India, that's fine. But if I'm choosing the countries by I get randomly assigned as a citizen, then most likely I could be living in some rural place without internet or electricity or water. North Sentinel Island, where was it? Was this North Sentinel? No. Somewhere in here. Yeah, I cannot find North Sentinel. Which is in India. You have these things. You have Pakistan to worry about. And it's like India, to live in there, I am not so positive about that. But to visit, yeah, definitely I want to visit and get the Daily Bailey, which is basically you eat Indian street food and you die. Now, India to visit, maybe even S tier. But to live there, it's like... Bro, I'm from Europe, right? So the biggest cities we have are like maybe 10 million. Like, some cities are... The average size of an European city is maybe 200, 300,000. India is like 15 million here, 15 million here. It's like something that I cannot even comprehend. India is huge. I don't see myself living in India, but definitely visiting. This doesn't mean that India is a bad country, but as an European, I don't think that I can handle India. Also, I don't think I have seen one time somebody suggest the United States. This is a big one that is missing. Now, somebody said Georgia. This is the first one that caught my eye. Georgia. Now, I really want to visit. Like, the last Google history searches that I had about plane flights and plane tickets was about Georgia. Because I was interested, okay, I want to visit Georgia. It was a bit expensive from Bulgaria to Georgia. Is this the whole city? It's a weird shape along this river, it seems like. Tbilisi. Interesting one. They have a lake, which... Okay, let me take a quick look at Georgia, since I don't know. Okay, they don't have the best street view. I assume that they are very communist. I would have a trouble with their language, which is a big one. Now this reminds me like home. That's Bulgaria, guys. Trust me. So Georgia, I think that because it's all about language, man. It's like I cannot learn this language. Also, these places are technically inside Georgia, but also not. So a lot of conflict. It's like the Caucasus, I would try to avoid living in there. And because of that, I think that I'm gonna put them in C tier. Not that they're a bad country to live in, but it's like we have to include the politics. And again, let's not forget that I can either move to Georgia or I can move to Georgia, you know. Where was? Yeah, I can move to Georgia. So in terms of competition, you know, that's how I'm ranking it. Not that it's a inherently bad country or all that. Again, this is the... I was searching up plane tickets to Georgia because I want to go there. So it's not like I hate any of these countries. I would just rather live in Switzerland, Austria, Norway and Italy rather than Georgia. America, there we go, USA. Can I get it? I think that I can. Can I use Liberia's flag instead of the United States just to mess with people? Now, America, that's a big one. That's a big one. I don't know. Do I have any American viewers here? Can you let me know if you're American? We have to vote for Liberia too. I cannot put Liberia anywhere. F government. Okay, I think that that's controversial. So let's do something. Let's do a poll. How would you rate the USA? So they're either an S tier, an A tier, a C tier, or an F tier. I'm really curious how people would vote for the United States. We have 4 votes for F. Wow. Not many people are saying S. Wow, 31 for F. So my audience seems to dislike America a lot more than Russia headed by Putin. Or pronouncing is hard, you know. But it's like, damn, F is the second most voted option. Can I show it? Yeah, because I want to make a YouTube video out of this. Look at this, 31%. We need 4 more percent for it to overtake option A. And for full clarity, let me see how many people are watching the stream. We have 60 people watching, so pretty much everybody has voted. And people think that it's not S tier. Wow. Let's be real, here is letter A or C. I wish that I could include all the letters, but YouTube allows me only 4 options. And I have 6. Oh, America is F tier. And it's no longer F tier, it's A tier. Now, this is the current version of America. Let me end this poll. Can I make a new one from here? I don't think that I can. So let me make a quick poll about something else. I think that we saw that people are very much against the current version. But what about... How would you rate the USA? The 1990s. So we have F. Let me do the other options. A, C, and F. Now, how would you rate the United States of America in the 1990s? Basically, after the collapse of communism. Which is when I would say that they were the strongest culturally. Did I? Wait, I actually have 2 Fs. Okay, let me fix. I'm sorry, I messed the poll up. I need to make a new one. I just realized that the top option is F and the bottom option is F. So S, A, B this time. Why not? And F. So, in the 1990s, right after the fall of communism, is when I would say that America was the strongest culturally and everything. So I expect to see a lot of S tier. Which is surprising that we still don't see a lot of S tier. Are most of my people from Europe? Like, why are people disliking America so much? Let me give it a bit more time. F for Clinton and for Bush, B or A. I don't want to get into tier listing politicians. Would be fun. But S for early 90s, A for late 90s. I think that I can get behind that. There we go. Liberty. Okay, I'm gonna end this poll. I'm glad that I can see your guys' opinion. People just don't like America at all. And I'm curious, what countries are you guys from? Can you guys tell me what country you're from while I'm telling you my opinion of America? And it's basically, I would say that America right now is in a... I don't want to say very bad place, but a bad place overall. I don't want to give a lot of hate to the country, because it's hard to hate the country that has the largest space agency, the largest economy in the world, the largest army in the world, and a lot, they're like the pioneers, like the biggest inventors in the world. They're always on top when it comes to Olympic Games, so they're good at sports if we exclude football/soccer. So they have good sports culture. But it's like, I brought the 1990s, which I hope that some Americans can listen to this, because I think that you would very much enjoy it. When Bulgaria was under communism, which is my country of origin, when Bulgaria was under communism, everything American was banned, and vice versa, obviously. At least I think that you cannot export or import Russian stuff. It was very difficult, unless you're Pepsi. So, you know, in Bulgaria, it was banned to listen to American music and watch American movies in the 80s, 70s, and all that. Which is, I would say, the golden years of the United States of America. Now, do you imagine if communism was back for some reason in Bulgaria, and people were going out of their way to listen to Cardi B and watch Netflix? Because technically, under communism, if you were caught injecting Western propaganda into your veins, you can go to prison. It's like North Korea. Like, North Korea doesn't allow this stuff. So, basically, all of the Eastern blocs, they were banned from listening to American music and American media and American movies, but they did it anyways, because it was so good. But it's like, can you imagine people from North Korea just listening to Cardi B and all that? I think that the culture is just nosediving, and it wasn't always like that. It's like, obviously, taxes and the politics of like the country just invading other countries to install freedom and stuff like that. So America is, especially in the last election in 2020, on the verge of a civil war. And in November, they would have another election. And I don't know what is going to happen in that election. Especially because I think that Biden and Trump are going to have a rematch. So it's like, the last time that they were elected, they stormed the Capitol in Washington, I think. So this time, no matter what, there is going to be a lot of outrage. No matter which side wins, which is insane to think about. I think that America is going on the decline. And I have also heard people say that America is spending billions of dollars sending to Ukraine and Israel. And it's like, Americans are like, okay, we're paying taxes. Our taxes are going to Israel so that the United States can protect Israel's borders. But the United States is not protecting its own border. Like, this is the opinion of the people that I have heard. It's not my own opinion, because I'm not... I haven't lived in America. I wish to visit. But it's like a tough one. I think that I'm gonna give them an 8 tier. Because, again, it's hard to dislike the largest economy in the world and the largest military and all that. But over time, they can definitely fall off a lot. Do you guys agree with me? What do you guys think of what I said? Because I think that it's an interesting point to look at it. Before, people were going out of their way to consume American media. Right now, people are going out of their way to avoid American media, you know? Or is this just my observation of my close circle of friends and all that? Okay, it seems like people agree with me. Again, I want to see somebody who says disagree and all that. Just so we can have a conversation and I can get myself educated better. I don't claim that I know everything the best. As I said in my video description, I care more about learning rather than being right. So if I'm wrong, please somebody correct me. Come here with facts and logic, not telling me that I'm stupid. Okay, next one. Albania. This should be a fun one. Now, I know that Albania, I saw this post on, I think, Instagram, which is Albania is the country in the world that has the most political assassinations per capita. Which is like insane. People, it's like the most dangerous job in Albania is to be a politician, it seems like. Which doesn't allow for strong politics. You also have this issue, so I'm not a big fan of living in Albania. Of course, I would visit like some of these, Duras and Vlor. Even Tirana, I would for sure love to visit. But it's like living there, damn. It seems like Albania is hated by all of their neighbors except Kosovo. Or it's like, it depends on who you ask. Does Albania border Kosovo or Serbia? So everybody seems to hate Albania, and it's like... I don't share this view. I think that Albania is, again, a beautiful country. But all the instability, like, I don't want to say necessarily the poverty, but it's like they could be doing a lot better. But because of politics, they are not. They're in the Balkans, so I understand that. They're a couple of... How far away is Albania from Bulgaria? Like that. Yeah, 200 kilometers away from border to border. So it's like very close to home, I would say. It's closer than Sofia to Plovdiv. So technically, or maybe Sofia to Varna. Let's see, I'm very much interested in that. Yeah, Sofia to Tirana, let's say, is 330 kilometers, while Sofia to Varna is more. So yeah, Albania is technically very close to home. When I look at it from this side. But again, I'm leaning towards D tier, but I'm gonna put it at C. I think that the country has a lot more issues than I just discussed. And again, why would I live in Albania when I can live in Macedonia, in Serbia, in Greece, in Italy? It's like, even southern Italy is maybe better than Albania. Okay, next one. Israel. Now, let me be clear. If you read the video description, it's all about if I'm going to live in this country or not. Israel has an ongoing conflict right here. They technically claim this Syrian land, which is disputed heavily. I don't even know what is going on in here. Ceasefire lines that are like 50 years old. So there is a hotspot for conflict here. There is a hotspot for conflict here in southern Lebanon. There is already a conflict in Gaza. There is an... I don't want to say ongoing conflict, but like a crisis in the Western Bank. And Israel has a mandatory military. So if I go there, or if I'm an Israeli citizen living there, it's like for sure I would have to fight a war during my lifetime, if not a couple. And as I said, I'm more of a Switzerland kind of guy where I want to avoid war. And and Israel, it's not like they necessarily want war. Sometimes war is brought upon them. Depends on which perspective you take. But I'm not a big fan of living in Israel for the only reason because I just want to avoid war. That's like my main thing, which is why I want to live in Switzerland, in Austria. So, nothing against Israel, but it's like, do I put them at D tier or maybe C tier? I think C tier is fair. It doesn't mean that the Israeli people are bad people, or that the country is bad, or that anything is bad. It's just personal preference, that I want to avoid conflict. So, again, no offense to anybody. Greece, there we go. Let's move on. To Greece. Now, Greece, obviously southern neighbor of Bulgaria. I would say that economically, although their GDP per capita is a lot higher, it's because they joined the European Union earlier, they have the euro and all that. They don't seem to have any conflicts. They have some stuff with Turkey and with Turkey again. And I mean, like the Turkish and the Greek parts of Cyprus. I don't know how Greece is invested in Cyprus and all that. So I don't think that Greece is going to start any wars or be involved in any wars. And if Greece is involved in any wars, like the whole of NATO is going to get involved. So I don't mind that, but Greece as a whole is a very weird place to me. Like there is, since I'm from Bulgaria, and there is a Bulgarian stigma that basically all of our neighbors are jerks, which I don't share, but Greece is definitely not among my favorite countries. To visit, maybe it's going to be very cool, but again, I wouldn't prefer to live there because it's very hot. Like sometimes I cannot handle Plovdiv as how hot it is, and Greece I can assume it's going to be even warmer there. And it suffers from these issues like in Italy, where the roads are very hard to navigate and the streets are just very narrow. And obviously you have their economic crisis, which it's more or less fixed. I would put Greece in C tier because I'm not a big fan. I would prefer a lot different countries than Greece. Morocco. Did I spell it right? No, it's with two C's. Morocco. There we go. I misspelled it. Now, I don't know too much about Morocco. There is some crime, sure, but it's like, it's a fine country to live. I think it's better than Algeria. I don't know if it's better than Tunis. I don't think that I can rate Morocco, to be honest. I don't feel competent talking about it. I don't know even their GDP per capita. So I think that I'm gonna skip Morocco. I'm not too familiar with Morocco, unfortunately. Somebody saying Mongolia. For the same reason, I don't know too much about Mongolia. I mean, I know a lot of stuff, but not specifically for living there, you know. I have never interacted with people who have lived in Mongolia or have an opinion. The best opinion I can give is as a tourist, which is not the narrative of the video right now. Which I hope that you guys can understand that. Next one, Slovenia. Well, we already did Slovakia, so let's confuse everybody. Nope. Slovenia. Now, Slovenia, I cannot tell you too much about Slovenia. It's like, I would want to go. I think that I highlighted some place in here, some mountains, something like that. I think that Slovenia is a cool place, at least observing from a Bulgarian point of view. I can see that some people are spamming Slovenia, different people, that's interesting. But I don't know what to tell you about Slovenia. They're doing fine, I think. Which is why I would put them in B tier. From what I have heard, the country is not doing that bad. The Netherlands. I wrote possible history and I got Cambodia. Can somebody clip this and send it to possible history? Because somebody suggested the Netherlands and I thought that writing possible history would be funny. But we got Cambodia. Possible history is Cambodia confirmed. I think that possible history is from Cambodia, guys. Anyways, the Netherlands. Can we actually get them? Wow, their flag is huge. Hello? Thank you. Now, we have the Netherlands. Let me make them big so I can discuss some things with them. I remember reading somewhere. That out of the 10 most expensive cities in Europe, the Netherlands has like 3 or 4. Like Utrecht was number 7, I think. Amsterdam was number 2, I think. I don't remember the rest. But it's like, if we take that the Netherlands is very expensive to live in, then damn, it's not what I would prefer. And again, we go into that thing that they're in the European Union, so technically Bulgarians come in and they just outbid the regular Dutch people working there. So it's very common for people from the Balkans to work in the grocery store and learn Dutch. So basically, if you're a Dutch person, you're always getting not outbid, but it's like there is many people who prefer to do the same job as you, but for less pay. So you get undercut, yeah, technically. But that's the same problem as Germany. It's just that the Netherlands is a smaller country, which makes the problem even worse, I would say. But this doesn't mean that the Netherlands is, in general, a bad country. I would put them in A tier, out of respect for possible history, but not only. The Netherlands has given birth to some other big YouTubers like Koyokop, Jelly, which I did watch in my childhood, and I have always been obsessed with some, like, how can PewDiePie can come up from a country of Sweden that is like 10 million people. The Netherlands is like 17, 18 million. So I think that the Netherlands is very cool, very prosperous, is going to become more prosperous in the future maybe. Which is a trend in Europe where some countries are collapsing, maybe even Germany, with their not necessarily collapsing birth rate, But it's like the UK is going to overtake Germany in population in like 30 years, despite Germany having a lead of 20 million people. And people said UK, which I think is a natural thing to do, moving on from like just mentioning them. Now, how do you guys feel about the United Kingdom? Let me do another poll, because this one is a major country and I just want to feel how my audience feels about these countries. The United Kingdom. So we can do S, we can do A, we can do D, and we can do F. No, what? We'll do C instead of D. There we go. How do we rate the United Kingdom, guys? What is your opinion on this country? Let me move it so you guys can see it. It's fluctuating a bit. We already have 25 votes. We have about 70 people watching. Somebody subscribe to the channel. I'm scared of women. A bit misspelled women. I'm scared of women too, despite having a girlfriend for like 4 years. I can't change. I don't think that you can change your votes. Also, is it weird how here it says enter message here? God save the king. Yes, God save the king. And it's from a Canadian. That's interesting. I'm scared of women is W. Please mention Northern Ireland. Well, I mean, isn't like the United Kingdom 60 million people and Northern Ireland is like 2 million at max? So, when I speak to the United Kingdom, I don't first think of Northern Ireland, you know. So people say A tier, which is actually not my view. Now, I haven't been to the UK. Let me end this poll. I haven't been to the UK, but it's like, damn, I can just hear how this country is not doing well at all. And not just from people stabbing other people, which is like looking at you, London. Like London is like, I think 7 million people, but it's like it has a lot of surrounding places. So the greater London area, I think, is like 2 times the population of Bulgaria. So of course you would have some problems, but it's like per capita they seem to be a lot higher in the UK. Also the United Kingdom seems to be on the decline, just as I said in many English-speaking countries. Just don't go to London. That seems like the best UK advice. One of my friends recently went to London. He said that he liked it, that it's not like dangerous or stuff like that, which I don't disprove. It's not like if you go to the United States, you will automatically get shot, and if you go to Britain, you will automatically get stabbed. It's not the case. They are safer than we think. But it's like the UK, they're not in the European Union anymore, and they are not moving away from it. Which is... I mean, didn't they want to do an Anglosphere with Canada, Australia, New Zealand? They're not doing it right now, so basically they're in this sort of limbo. I'm not going to say if the UK should have stayed or left the European Union, but basically all of Scotland is pro-EU, and most of Northern Ireland, there you go, I mentioned it, is pro-European Union. England is mostly not. So there is a big divide in the country. And when we talk about the UK, do you guys think that the UK could collapse in the near future? And by collapse, I mean Scotland breaking free. Yes or no in the chat? Because I think it's likely in some years. Yes, yes. Nah. Okay, 2 yes, 1 no. 3 yes, 1 no. 4 yes, 1 no. Let me show you. Most people think that Scotland would break free, and there you go. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody seems to be saying yes. Of course. Yeah, there is some no's, but the overwhelming amount of interaction I seem to be getting is yes. So most people think that Scotland is going to break free. So it's like not the most stable country. I think that we have already said that. And because they are not so stable, it's like you have to put it down. I think that I'm gonna go for B tier. Especially because they went from like being the strongest country in the world for hundreds of years to just whatever that is. I think it's a big decline. We mentioned earlier that the United States is on the decline, but it's like the UK has been suffering this decline for not 100 years, but maybe 50. It's like after the World Wars, they completely became reliant on the United States and was their character. And now the UK is, as I said, existing in this state of limbo, where they're not in the European Union, but also not doing their own thing. And they left the EU because they wanted to do their own thing. Okay, somebody said Spain. Let me do Spain really quickly. Now, Spain, I'm not a big fan of there. My cousin lives in Spain. I think that Spain is a nice country, but it's like, again, we have Catalonia, we have the Basque, we have Galicia, which doesn't have any independence movements. Do you guys think that Spain could collapse in the near future? Again, yes or no? I'm just asking my community and making a decision from there. Because I hope that you guys are smarter than me, since we have... Okay, no. Okay, so people don't think that Spain would collapse. So no independent Catalonia. Damn, nobody thinks that. Apart from a few people. Okay, it seems like most people said no. Like this guy said yes 3 times, so it doesn't count. That's interesting. So Spain is more stable than I thought. I would put them the same as Portugal. Like their food is amazing. Where's Portugal? I put Portugal at A. I think that it's fair to say that Spain is at A tier. Again, too hot for my liking, but again, I would just live here, to be honest. Like the most northern Spain as possible. Suggest Scotland. I cannot do that, I already said. I don't have a Scotland flag. I'm not doing Greenland. Liechtenstein. I guess we can do Liechtenstein. I will not spend too much time on it. Liechtenstein, A tier. No, actually, I'll put Liechtenstein in... Yeah, I'll put them in A tier. Technically, they're the budget version of Switzerland. I don't like them too much because they don't have any lakes. It's like a boring country to be. I would love to go... I think that I mentioned it a couple of live streams ago, but basically from this point to this point is like 22 kilometers. About 10 miles. Less than 10 miles. No, actually. 22 kilometers. About 12 miles. Let me correct myself. 13 miles, let's say. So I'm like, I want to go on foot. Basically, I'm here in Switzerland, in Liechtenstein, then in Austria. And I want to travel this by foot. One day. But it's like, I would just prefer either Switzerland or Austria, which are both S tier. So why would I choose this middle option? I'm not too fond of them. But again, neutrality and all that, so they get A tier, just because of that. Next one, Belarus. Oh my god, Belarus. Not a great fan of Belarus. And not because of Lukashenko, which is another different topic. It's like, it doesn't have anything to offer. Okay, let's look at Minsk, because I have never seen Minsk, not out of Google Street View. You know what, this looks good, but is this where the actual people live? Because I can guarantee you that if we go into this neighborhood, Partizansky Ryan, let's see how the outskirts of Minsk look. I mean, we cannot look at the buildings, unfortunately, but that's just Minsk. I think that the whole of Belarus is just maybe the worst country in Eastern Europe. Again, no offense to any Belarusian fans that I have, but I would say that Belarus is quite literally the worst in Eastern Europe. It's like, Moldova is cheap, but at least it looks good, it has something to offer. Belarus is even cheaper, but it's like, even when we throw their politics into that, not a great fan of Belarus at all. Again, I would love to visit Belarus and completely change my mind. In 1 year, I would do this again. And I would have visited Austria, Germany, and some other countries in 1 year. Maybe even more. These are just for sure. These I'll visit in like 2 months. Do Saudi Arabia. This seems to be very popular. Saudi Arabia. Again, I'm just overriding it. Now, Saudi Arabia, I think I maybe prefer more the United Arab Emirates. Just because every influencer is going to the Emirates and it's like, I don't know, maybe the country is becoming too overrated with of these projects. It's like, what's even the point? It's interesting. Australia, there we go. It's interesting, Saudi Arabia, especially where was Mecca? There was Mecca. When you go to the central square, it's like one of these skyscrapers. It's like this thing. It's like, wow. And obviously you have people going in circles. It's like very interesting. If they didn't have these cranes, which I think that most of the time they don't, I think that Saudi Arabia is in general very nice. Just like the United Arab Emirates, they don't have any taxes, so they rely on oil right now. But they are building the line, which should be somewhere here. Where is Neom? Access to, I don't see it. Neom project site, there we go. So they're building the line right now. They're doing something, this is what it's supposed to look like. They're also investing out in esports, in business, in all that. So the country knows that they shouldn't rely on oil. I think that they're doing good. Obviously they had some stuff with women not being allowed to drive, which they have resolved years ago. So I think it's a fine place to live. Maybe, yeah, I would put them in A tier. I think that's a good place to live. But it's like you have to consider that they are playing a lot of stakes with Iran. So a war could erupt and we don't know how Saudi Arabia would perform in a war. I don't know if Saudi Arabia has ever been in a war, you know? Or any massive war, so it's still yet to be seen. So just Latvia. That's a weird one. Let's do Latvia, I guess. Now Latvia, same thing as the Lithuanians. The country is being depopulated and everybody's moving to Riga, which means that Riga is getting incredibly expensive and everywhere is getting incredibly cheap, but you don't want to live there. Also, a lot of people are just leaving Latvia. Like 25% of the Latvian population has left the country. And if my tier list is according countries that I want to live in, why would I go to a country that 25% of the people have chose to leave? So to visit, definitely, but to live, it seems like the country has some problems. Also, if there is a war, they just border Russia. So I would put them a bit lower than Lithuania. Where is Lithuania? Okay, Lithuania is already in C, so I cannot put them in D tier. I don't think that it's fair to Latvia. People's Republic of China. There we go. That's a massive country that... Also, because I play Age of Empires, I was doing some of these. It was interesting. Anyways. We have China. Guys, I also want to ask you about your opinion of China, since it's a big country. What's your opinion of China? Did I spell it correctly? Not really. China. So they're either S, A, C, or F. There you guys go. Now we can vote. Let's see what people say. Most people say F. Is it because they're communist? Which is another poll that I would do. What if China was led by the Taiwan government, like the Republican Chinese? Which is another question. Don't answer that right now. All we care about is China today and their Communist Party. What is your opinion of that? Also, yeah, there we go. This is the chat. It disappeared for a second. So why are people disliking China? Is it because of the Communist Party? Or does it have something else to do with that? Because I can guarantee you that a lot of people have something from China right now. Yeah, I'm pretty much working for the Chinese government, and everybody who has pressed anything than S tier is getting their social credits destroyed. We have 59 people watching. That's amazing. Also, let me remind you, if somebody wants me to do their country and I still haven't done it yet, feel free to donate some money and I will just override everybody's suggested country and I'll do yours for sure. I already did that with Canada. Somebody gave me $2 Canadian and I reviewed Canada. Okay, so most people are F when it comes to China. Because obviously you have the Uyghur people in Western China, which is something ongoing in here. I'm not going to say since I actually want to visit China and not get arrested. So this is about SA. We have D and F. Now, right now, the poll is about Republican China, so basically Taiwan. What if China basically wasn't communist? How would you rate China then? This is non-communist China, this is Taiwan China. Remember. We have a lot of S and... Okay, people just hate China. Still an F, really? We're talking about Republican China of Chiang Kai-shek, basically what if the Republicans won the Civil War. We're talking about this China, not this China. Is it... Okay, it's a bit of an S, but it's like people just seem still too crowded, of course. People seem to be just very much against China. Or maybe people hate major powers, which wasn't seen in Russia, I think. I think that most people didn't give Russia an F, but they're giving F to China, the UK, the USA. Redo vote, people voted before. It doesn't matter, I just want to see what people have to say. In China, it depends where you live. Exactly, which is where I'm gonna get right now, and my point of view. Which is that, like, China is too crowded. Of course, they're a big country, but when I mean too crowded, I mean like Shanghai. It's like, why would you live there? And the whole country, let's not forget the communist regime, which is basically, you cannot invest, or investing is very hard in there to do in China. Business is somewhat hard to do in China, which means that people are just buying real estate left, right, and center, driving up the prices. And I think that I read somewhere that China has 1.3 billion buildings that house, or like, you know, rooms and stuff like that. Basically, China has enough buildings to house, I think, all of Asia or something like that. Not just all of China, but all of Asia. And they're continuing to build. And it's like too much. You just have to look at it and be like, okay, money we're giving to the government just goes into this black pit. So China, while a great country, I don't think that I want to live there. I wouldn't give them an F tier, but it's like, it has so many problems and we don't hear of them, of course. It's easy to look at the United States and say this stuff is happening. It's easy to look at the UK and say this stuff is happening. But in China, we don't really know what is going on. And it's easy to say that China is a bastion of world stability and that the world is going to recover and China is going to rule the world. But they're just suppressing everything that's happening there. So we don't know. China could be doing better than us, could be doing worse. We just don't know. Okay, I'll do 3 more. Croatia. Guess I could speedrun some. So, Croatia, they're in the European Union. They are soon to get the Euro, if they don't have it already. Some stuff with Bosnia, don't think anything serious is going to happen. They have a large coastline, so it's very good to go to the coast. But it's like, I would prefer to go to Italy rather than Croatia in terms of maybe beaches. I went to Zagreb on Google Maps when I was exploring the city. I didn't like it too much, I'm not a big fan of Croatia. Also recently I learned that Croatia has like 4 million people or 3.7 million. Which I thought that the Croats were like the Bulgarians, there were 7 million Croats, but it's like half of them. Indeed, they didn't lose too much people. I think percent-wise they didn't lose a lot. So Croatia seems to be stable. One of the better countries in the Balkans. Technically I would put them alongside Romania, but I don't like them too much. But I think that I'm still going to put them in there, with respectfully being on the lower end of B tier. Vatican City, I'm not doing that. It's not like a country that you can live in pretty much. San Marino. I said that we were doing 3. Okay, San Marino is neutral. They're not in the European Union, not in NATO, not in nothing. And I have actually wanted to visit them. So I'm still contemplating going to San Marino. You have this castle that overlooks the entire province. It looks nice. Also, in the country of San Marino, this is the most populated city. Dugana. Believe it or not. So even San Marino is not the most populated city. Which I think is very funny. So basically you can rename San Marino to Dugana. Which is a cool fact that I thought that you guys might enjoy learning. I think that San Marino is close to A tier. Or yeah, I have to put them in A tier. Somebody said Japan. I'm going to do Japan also. Since it's a major country that I haven't covered. I'll put San Marino in A tier. Because again, they are neutral, but it's like a small country, not a lot to do there. I would love to visit and change my mind. And Japan. I guess we can do a few more. I'll just do the last ones a bit faster after Japan. I'm just going to put them in some tier and not explain too much about that. So, Japan. The land of the collapsing birth rate. Not quite. It's taken by South Korea. But it's like they don't want any migration. Sorry, I had to cough. I have been speaking non-stop for 2 hours and my voice is already starting to... I'm starting to kind of lose my voice. So Japan is a beautiful country. There's no second opinion about that. I'm not a fan of anime, but I'm a big fan of Japanese food. I'm gonna give Japan A tier. No, actually B tier. I cannot give them too much. And of course over time it's only going to get lowered. Because the population is collapsing and the government isn't doing too much to fix that. So I'm not going to explore Japan too much. Because as I said, time. I want to cover some other countries. Let's go to South Korea. Which, again, Korean food. Again, very good. Korean barbecue. I am yet to try. But I'm gonna put Korea a bit lower than Japan because their collapsing birth rate is just insane. And also, as I said, I want to live in a country where war doesn't happen. South Korea borders North Korea. And this is the only thing that I have to say. Also, everybody is moving to Seoul. And it's like the same thing with Latvia. Everybody is moving to the capital. The capital gets overpriced. Everything else is not desired to live in, working. So it's like this situation. I'm not a great fan of South Korea. I can even move them down to D. But you know, they're more Western, more developed. Neither of these countries are Western, which may be a coincidence. I don't know which Western country would make it in there, honestly. Colombia. Colombia, I think I would also put in C tier. Because you have corruption and all that issues. Which, to be honest, may be resolved. Because we'll like think of Colombia's Pablo Escobar, which was like 30-40 years ago. It's like Colombia has moved a long way. It's like generations away from Pablo Escobar. So Colombia is a different country that were pushed in the media. But I don't know enough about Colombia to make a good decision. So I'm gonna put them in C tier, I think. Again, it may be an amazing country. Somebody's saying Jordan. I don't know anything too much about Jordan. I don't know anything about Fiji. Bangladesh. Okay, I guess we can do Bangladesh. Now, I don't know anything too much about Bangladesh, but I'm gonna put them again in C tier. Can I move them? Yeah, let's put them somewhere in here. Bangladesh in C tier. too overpopulated. Bangladesh has more population than Russia, and look at the sizes of the two countries. And it's like also GDP per capita is not that great. I wouldn't want to live in Bangladesh. Visit, sure, but like live, you can be just somebody working in the factory and that's that. Bosnia. I have heard that Bosnia has amazing food. A lot of Croats like Bosnia. They also go to Bosnia because it's cheaper. I would put Bosnia at B, but this makes it higher than Serbia and all of these countries, which doesn't make sense. So Bosnia also get the same treatment as C tier. Not a great fan of Bosnia, but I really want to go to Bosnia soon. It's like in the Balkans. Come on, I'm very close to Bosnia. I should go to Bosnia soon, for sure. There is no question about that. So I really hope that over time I can bump Bosnia's rating. Azerbaijan. Now I'm speedrunning these countries. Azerbaijan. There we go. I misspelled it. Now, I think that Azerbaijan has a lot of oil, but they don't have Norway's front end. It's a bit mishandled. Azerbaijan and Armenia literally last year, like a couple of months ago, had conflicts. So as a person that wants to avoid war, which I would have to say 10 times, I would put Azerbaijan lower because they had conflicts that just happened, you know. Not that the country is bad, I really want to visit. I think that the Azerbaijan people are good people. I just don't know enough about Azerbaijan. I think that they're close with Turkey, so you know what, I think that I should bump them up. I was basically making an excuse that I don't have any space, but let me not make any excuses. Somebody's like suggest Finland. Can you see A tier? Finland is already done. Tuvalu. Not doing Tuvalu. Is that Romania in B? Yes, Romania is indeed in B tier. But to be honest, Romania is I think that the first or second country that I got suggested. So I can reshuffle them around a lot. But it's like, because some of them don't make sense. Like Portugal is at the same as United States. This doesn't seem right, no matter who you ask. So, it's not perfect. That's what I'm trying to say. Basically, if you want to hear my opinion about Romania, you should just watch where I discuss them, not on this tier list. Micronesia, okay, North Korea, let's put it in F. This one is the first F that we have. I guess I can also start looking at Google Maps and just putting random countries in F tier. Okay, what can we say? Belgium, not a big fan. Belgium, it's like this country cannot form a government. Thank God that they are rich. But it's like they're even poorer compared to their neighbors. So Belgium I would put in maybe C tier. It's a decent country, but it's like, come on, they cannot form a government in 2 years. They're very much divided. It's like, wow. Brazil is not on there. Brazil is in C tier, my friend. Suggest Bulgaria. Oh my god, Bulgaria. Now, truth be told, Bulgaria is not the worst country. As much as I like to mean Bulgaria, and I put them in the thumbnail in F tier, are you guys interested where I make a video? Well, not a video, a live stream. Let me make a poll, actually. Let me tell you quickly. Interested. Okay, so I have had this idea where magically I become the president of Bulgaria and I roleplay and try to fix the country. Do you guys want to see this live stream happen? Yes or no? Because I think that in this live stream I would mention Bulgaria's problems and all that. And I would also not be an asshole and criticize them, but I would also suggest solutions. So I'm not just raising problems, I'm also giving solutions. That would be funny. I don't think that it would get a lot of views, so I can try it sometime. Fix corruption, and yes, I want to fix corruption. Okay, overwhelmingly people say that they're into that. 26 people, no need to wait for more. It's in the 90s. So Bulgaria, of course, it's C tier. It's like unreasonable for it to be any higher or lower because it compares to countries like Greece, Macedonia, Hungary, Serbia, Lithuania. It's like on the same part. Again, not the worst. Could be a lot worse. We could have had, I don't know, Libya, which I think that Libya is close to D tier. Let me put them. Libya I would put in D tier. Because they used to be somewhat strong and relevant. Now they're just a shithole. Let me catch up on my chat and do a bit more. Rank Libya 2011. So before Gaddafi or during Gaddafi? I mean, it's different. People like to shit Gaddafi, but from what I know, he did a lot from the country. I think that university was free during Gaddafi. I think that healthcare was affordable during Gaddafi. So it seems like that after Gaddafi, Libya has fallen off. I'm not going to rate Libya during Gaddafi, however. Okay, new countries. France. France is a big one. How have we not had France yet? And we get Discord when I say France. How does this even work? Now, France I would put in B tier. They are not A tier because from what I have seen, again depending on where you live, Paris or it seems like any big city nowadays suffers from a lot of problems. And I'm like, wow. Like Paris used to be the place in Europe back in the day, and now it's like the place you want to avoid when visiting France. So I'm not a big fan of France, I'm not gonna lie. But again, I want to go there, maybe to Annecy, this place, because it checks out with my criteria of beautiful map, beautiful lakes, and thank you Baden-Württemberg for the €1. Yeah, this is Annecy, France. Lakes, mountains, this is what I want. So maybe I would explore Annecy, Marseille, Nice, but I would avoid this part of France. For now, I would put France in B tier. I think that they fell off quite a lot. I mean, they're the same as the UK, so it checks out. Baden-Württemberg, you can suggest me a country and I will do it. Basically, tell me any country you want and I will rank them. Suggest Czechia. Czechia. Is it Czech Republic? Maybe it's Czech Republic in here. Now, Czechia has beer. I was supposed to also visit Czechia in Prague. Beer, it's somewhat rich. It's close to Germany. It doesn't suffer any problems. It's sort of cool. I would put them in A tier. Because, again, S tier is basically a cool country where I would live during a world war. Now, maybe these two are the best for world wars, but these are also decent. North Sentinel Island, I cannot rank that, you know. Panama, this one is interesting. I would put Panama in B tier, because they are unlike other Central American countries. I also want to do El Salvador, just from my own. Panama, I think Panama City has like a lot of skyscrapers. If I show you Panama City on the map, I don't think that you would believe it. Like the amount of skyscrapers that they have and how developed they are. Like look at this. This is Panama, man. Look at all these skyscrapers. And look at the distance. Can you believe that this is Panama? Because when you think of Central America, you don't think of this. You know? You can even see the flag, so you know that I'm not kidding. So Panama I would put very highly. Because they're doing very well in the region. In here. In B tier. Now, I want to do El Salvador. Just because of... what was the name of the president? Bukele? Yeah, Bukele. I think that he's doing very good for El Salvador. And you know, there is another discussion that I wanted to have, but maybe it's late for this live stream. Yeah, I'm gonna discuss this in another live stream. But basically, El Salvador, same as Panama, I think that they are doing very well in the region. They're doing amazing. Suggest Iraq. I think that Iraq has a lot of problems still with ISIS and other groups and the Kurds in the north, and Iraq is just a mess. It's like a, I don't know, like, let's look at Baghdad. I think that, yeah, they don't have a lot of street view. I'm not going to live in Iraq. Again, I saw a YouTube short from somebody who went to Iraq, And basically the people are so nice and so welcoming, it just really wants me to visit, but not necessarily live. So I'm gonna put them in here, but when it comes to visiting, A tier, maybe S tier. South Africa. Now, I was pleasantly surprised when looking at South Africa on Google Maps. And I mean pleasantly, not because it's Africa, it's poor. That's not what I'm saying, but Cape Town looked really beautiful on Google Maps. I expected something different, but it's like, it looks very European with these houses. Or, you know, even something like American, it's like, it's nice. South Africa, I think, is very fine if you have money. That's the big thing. If you have money, South Africa is like the place to be. But if you don't have money, then you shouldn't be in South Africa. It's a very corrupt place. You can get people killed for money. So I'm gonna put them in C tier. Kazakhstan. Don't know too much about Kazakhstan. It's big. I would prefer maybe Kyrgyzstan, since I think they don't necessarily have volcanoes, but their nature is like this. Isn't K2 located in Kazakhstan? I don't think so. I don't think that Kazakhstan is too mountainous. Where is K2 located? Does somebody know? The Mount K2, top of the mountain. Kazakhstan, I mean, it's fine. It's pro-Russian. Doesn't really matter. I think that they built Astana from the ground up. Or they built a capital, they moved their capital from the ground up. This looks very old, so it's not like from the ground up. But I think that they're building another. I think K2 is in Nepal. Okay, thank you. I always thought that it's somewhere in here. I guess I was very wrong. Kazakhstan, I don't feel competent ranking them, so I'm sorry. Nepal, I also said that I don't feel competent ranking them. I don't know too much about them. Afghanistan would be an interesting one. Where would I put them? I mean, technically they're not F because their people are Afghanistan. Afghanistan. This is how I spell it. And this is the flag that I chose to use. Technically it's not the right flag, but sure. Yeah, I'll put Afghanistan in D tier because it's not North Korea, but, you know, people have freedoms. Some freedoms. They can, I think, move away. It's like you cannot even leave North Korea. That's how bad it is. I think that North Korea is so bad that we need its own tier. So just Tunis. I don't feel too competent talking about Tunis, I'm not gonna lie. I declined Morocco because I don't feel too competent. I cannot tell you anything about Tunis, to be honest. Europe, however, is a different story. Let's do Estonia. I'll put Estonia in B tier, quite above their other Baltic countries, because they didn't lose so much people, and they also have beer called Pujola, which I like, so I'm already starting to show some bias. Kosovo, I don't think I have a Kosovo flag. If I have a Kosovo flag, I'll do Kosovo. Oh, I have a Kosovo flag. Now, what do you think about Kosovo? It's like, I can have the freedom to move to any of these countries, yet why would I go to Kosovo? It's like, what if Serbia invaded today, or I get integrated into Albania? Where is Serbia and Bulgaria? Okay, so Serbia is in C tier, Albania is also in C tier. So basically, if I wanted to be either in Serbia or in Albania, I would just go to these countries. But when it comes to Kosovo, it's like, I'm not only part of these countries, the war is literally fought on the territory where I would live. So it's like there is an added risk. It doesn't mean that Kosovo is a bad country or anything like that. I'm just thinking about wars. It's like, if a war were to happen, Kosovo is the battleground. At least if I live in Serbia, I would be in Belgrade, and at worst I can get conscripted. So that's my humble opinion. Again, I need to go there. I think that I should really explore the Balkans and I don't know, buy a car, drive around the Balkans and just share stories and all that. Because I may be wrong. If somebody says that I'm wrong, please tell me why, and I would love to learn and improve the rating and all that. Please do more Morocco even if you don't know much. Morocco I would put in C tier. Again, I don't know much. Morocco could be like the best country in the Maghreb region. Maybe they are in the Maghreb region. In terms of Tunis, Libya, Algeria, Western Sahara. Like Morocco could be the best in this region. I just don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. Iran, I have already done Iran. In D tier. Dominican Republic. Dominica. I think that they are somewhat safe. Unlike Haiti. Somebody from my chat a while ago said that the Dominican Republic is not that bad. And I'm gonna take his word for that. So put them in C tier. It's like kind of richer Egypt between Egypt and UAE. Okay, then this sounds good. I put Egypt in here. I still haven't ranked the UAE, but maybe they're bottom B tier or upper C tier. I cannot tell you too much about. Ethiopia. Ethiopia doesn't have like a civil war right now. Same with Sudan. Like the Tigray people in Ethiopia, I think, are causing trouble, or the government is causing trouble upon the Tigray people. I'm not exactly too well educated about what's going on in Ethiopia. There is 100 million people in here. And it's like, seems too crowded, seems a lot of minorities are here, and I don't want to live where conflict happens. Luxembourg. I know that the country has free transportation, which is nice, so I'm gonna put them in A tier. They are also very wealthy, which is only a positive for this scale. Is that the new Afghan flag? It is, technically. We should be using this flag, but it all comes down to politics, if you recognize them or not. Oman. Oman is a cool country. They have good nature, but they border the United Arab Emirates, so... And they're also, I think, very conservative. They're not... they're keeping their culture intact. They're not allowing too many foreigners, which... It's good for them to keep their culture and not lose it, if they want to do that. I mean, Japan is doing the same, so we cannot say that Oman is bad for not allowing foreigners, where Japan also does the same. And it's kind of hypocritical to like Japan, but not to like Oman in this way. So just Australia. Australia is very expensive. Australia is super expensive. They could be even S tier. I mean, New Zealand, yeah, they could be S tier, but they are so expensive, so maybe B tier is right for them. Because, again, Australia is super expensive. Super, super expensive. Maybe out of the listed countries, I think that Australia could be one of the most expensive countries. And I have been to Switzerland. It's not that bad. I mean, I wasn't in Zurich. I was in the south, in the Italian-speaking canton. It's like Australia, very expensive. Will you do Micronesia? I don't know anything about Micronesia. I don't know why you have been wanting me to do Micronesia. England, I already did the United Kingdom. My opinion doesn't change. England is still B tier. New Zealand. I mean, I already did Australia. New Zealand is next to this, so let's do something different. Or maybe New Zealand is A. I don't know anything about New Zealand, actually. I know that it's a cool place. I like Auckland since the city is technically on these two sides of the boot. It seems cool. Would want to visit. Cyprus. Cyprus. Which one? No, I'm kidding. So we have Cyprus. Again, the reason that I said which one is because when you look at it on the map, it's like, wow. Very divided. Maybe a good place for a holiday, but to live, I don't think that it's going to be a battleground, actually. It's not that bad. Has Italy been done? Yes, it's in S tier. I'm gonna put Cyprus in... I cannot put them in B tier just because of how divided they are. And I'm ranking the whole country, because when we say Cyprus, we usually mean this part of Cyprus. But I'm ranking them in terms of the island. So just Ireland. I already said that I don't know anything too much about Ireland. If I had to do them, I would maybe put them in C tier. They're also very expensive. Montenegro. There. Now, I really want to visit this place in Montenegro. Which was it? Kotor, yeah. Kotor seems very cool. Let me show you Kotor on Google Maps. It looks like this, which I would say is very cool. So this is the kind of, yeah, there we go. Now this is what I call, this one I like. So just because of the fact that I have found this place, I'm gonna put them in a bit higher tier. They maybe have a lot of problems, but I'm biased because I can look at this and say that I like it. Maybe they're even worse than Serbia and Albania, which are in C tier, but you know. I'm starting to speedrun some of these. We have 42 people watching. I'm still surprised that I was able to keep so many people. It's like a lot of people came in to join. I had 100 people at one point. Also, I want to remind you that I have a Discord. These are all the people that have joined. Let me give you a link. Exclamation Discord. So you guys can join. And we have an ongoing World War II roleplay. This is the map right now. You can see that Quebec is independent, Kalmar Union, France is big. Bulgaria, I think, has Istanbul or something. Romania has been completely partitioned. Some things are happening to China. Grand Colombia, it seems like. Mexico has partitioned Central America with the United States, it seems like. So there is a lot going on in this roleplay. Let's see. People joining. There we go. This guy joined. This guy joined. I'm gonna do a giveaway at 1000 members. So we need 130 more. Which I should do in a couple of live streams. Again, you can go to Get Roles. And you click on this World War II Enjoyer. And I have created a bot. Let me show you a bot before I continue. I can go in here. And basically you can do swash list. And this is a bot that I paid a guy on Fiverr and I also coded myself. And you can see that there are some countries that you can play. Greece is free. There are 76 players in this game. So it's a big game. It's like almost all of the nations have been taken. Look at this. It's like you have a lot. I don't know why I'm Monaco. I think that somebody gave me Monaco. Somebody assigned me Monaco. I don't think that I picked them. Is this even me? It is me. So yeah, it's a whole thing that exists. And these are all the people that joined. Thank you very much. Now let us continue to the next country, guys. What's the next country? Namibia. I know that they are quite empty. I would prefer South Africa than Namibia, to be honest. I don't know where to put them. Where is South Africa? Yeah, if South Africa is here, then Namibia is bound to be here. I think that in the whole country there are like 2 million people. 500,000 live in Windhoek. I mean, the name of their leader is a certain somebody. Suggest Mongolia. I got suggested Mongolia before. I don't know anything about Mongolia. I cannot rate them in any way. That is accurate. I mean, I can rate them somehow. Also, here is Egypt. Haiti. They're very poor. And ranking them lower doesn't mean that I stack them or like that. It's just because their political situation. It's like they are the first of all of the Caribbean and all of these countries to get their independence in 1803. And being independent for like 200 plus years doesn't seem to be working out so well for them. Because some countries like Jamaica who got their independence in like the 60s, the 1960s, instead of the 1803. So it's like these countries have like 150 years in terms of independence, and Jamaica seems to be doing a lot well. So Haiti seems to be very mismanaged, unfortunately. Nigeria. Let's do Nigeria. I don't know where exactly to put Nigeria. Again, it's a big country. I don't know. I think that... No, I don't feel competent talking about Nigeria. But maybe put them in C tier, but I really cannot tell you. I'm also not going to do Saint Kitts and Nevis, since I don't think that I can find them on the map. There we go, I just did. Totally not by reading. Venezuela. I mean, we have another candidate for D tier. The country is amazing, Maduro is not. That's like how I can sum it up. NA rank for future tier list would be good. I would do that. Thank you for this. Indonesia. I think that Indonesia is doing fine. Indonesia. I think that they're building a capital on Borneo. So they're moving away from Jakarta. I mean, they're very united. They also have Bali, which here is Bali. One of the most overrated islands, I would say. But, you know, people live there. So Jamaica... No, Jamaica. Come on. Indonesia, either C or B. I'm gonna put them in B tier. I think that they're decent. Like, decent sized population, economy. Also, Nigeria has a lot of population and they're supposed to overtake the United States soon. So, maybe Nigeria could be also in C tier, just because of their future prosperity. And I would like to live in a country where the population is increasing rather than decreasing. Monaco. Monaco is straight up S tier. I would prefer to live, again, in a country that I can avoid the Third World War. Well, Monaco is expensive. I think that I can figure it out. It's like I can buy a place and have a bunker. But for that I would need a house. And buying a house in Monaco maybe would be very expensive. But you know, Monaco is here. Czechia has already been done. They are in A tier. Syria. Do we have Syria in F tier? But I mean, if I put Syria in F tier, then I'm ranking Bashar al-Assad, not Syria itself. Syria? Syria? Yeah, thank you. So Syria, civil war for like 10 years. You know what? I think that we need more countries in F tier. Civil war for 10 plus years. Still not near its end. Everything has been destroyed. The people are amazing from what I have heard. But it's like, damn. Again, as a person who wants to avoid a civil war, a war in general, going into a country to live where a civil war has been ongoing for 10 years, not my criteria. Mexico, that's a cool one. That's a big one. I think that Mexico is doing very good. They used to be poor and laughed at, but right now they're industrializing very well. The country is developing quite nice. So I think that I would put them in A tier, actually. I think that Mexico is doing amazing. Germany, please. It's this one. Germany is in A tier. What about my beloved Bulgaria? Bulgaria is in where? Bulgaria is here, in C tier. Ти да не си от нашите, по акцента те разпознах. Точно така, българен съм. Vietnam. Let's do Vietnam. Okay, you know what? Okay, there we go. I think that Vietnam is a cool country. In general, Southeast Asia, I have heard, is amazing. It's cheap, the food is amazing, a lot of people from the United States go to live in Vietnam. So from what I have heard, Vietnam is a very good country. I haven't seen it myself. If I go there and I decide it's cool, I would put them in A tier. But for right now, I think that this is what I have to say. I think living in the sub-Saharan countries would suck. Well, for sure, they're poorer in general. And corruption, it's like, chat is super corrupt in all of these countries. They are not only poor, but very corrupt. I don't remember which country it was. Maybe it was this country. Niger. Or I don't want to get myself into trouble. But basically this country, I think, has 20% literacy rate. Which means that 80%, if that is true, this means that 80% of the people don't know how to read in this country. And to me, that's not because they're stupid, it's because their politicians are doing that. It's like a very sad and unfortunate story. Do Lebanon. Lebanon is amazing, but then you have this, roughly. And also part of Beirut. So it's like, when I talk about Lebanon, I have to talk about this. There is no way around that. Kosovo has already been rated. I have tried Lebanese food. It is amazing. Like, all the Arab countries have amazing food. Amazing food. I mean it. But it's like Lebanon. I have to put them in D tier. Just because from what I highlighted. Again, it's an amazing country, but damn. When we include the politics, it's like they could be invaded soon. Russia has already been done. Pakistan. Okay, Pakistan. What was the name of the previous Prime Minister of Pakistan? Is the person who suggested Pakistan Pakistani? Khan, Embryo Khan, something like that. I think that he was doing quite well running the country. But again, I may be completely wrong because I'm from Bulgaria and I obviously don't know what's happening in Pakistan. But from what I heard that this Khan guy was... Yeah, it's something Khan. He was doing quite well and I don't think that anymore he's the Prime Minister. I think that there were some corruption allegations or stuff like that. But I think that Pakistan has like 1,000 GDP per capita, which is very low. Which is again unfortunate. I have to put them down just because of money reasons. But again, I would really love that. A couple of live streams I asked my people if Ukraine is a good one, I just saw. A couple of live streams ago, there was somebody from Pakistan and we were chatting and I was like, okay, do I visit Islamabad if I want to go to Pakistan? And he told me to visit Karachi. So I have an interest in visiting Pakistan. It's very cheap there, from what I have heard. But also living there as a regular citizen shouldn't be too enjoyable. Ukraine is a big one in Europe that we haven't done. Ukraine. Now, I have to be real. I have to be real. This stream I have said 100 times that I want to live in a country that's not involved in a war. And we're speaking about Ukraine. So, automatically I cannot rank them very high. I put Russia highly, so it seems like I have to put Ukraine in C tier. It's like Ukraine is poorer. If I go, Ukraine would have been a good choice before the war. I think so. Ukraine would be very good to go and live in. Maybe in Kiev would be nice, because again the country is cheap, which means that as a person working online, I can get paid American dollars and live anywhere else. So yeah, I think that Ukraine unfortunately has lost a couple of points. It could have been like Moldova in B tier, but they are all the way down in C, which is unfortunate and kind of not their fault. It's not like I am accusing them of something, but it is what it is. I don't want to live in a country that has war. I have said it plenty of times. So no offense to anybody. I'm just a person who wants to live in Switzerland. Are they in war? Technically not. There is no declaration of war, but you know what I mean. Why didn't he do Palau? What do you think I know about Palau? Gibraltar is owned by Britain. Yes, there are. I don't think YouTube pays the same in other countries. It doesn't matter where you're from. It matters where you get viewed from. So I can live anywhere and get the same amount of money. It also depends on taxes. Jordan. Again, I don't know anything about Jordan. At least for Lebanon, I know that their food is good. I have tried that. Malta I like. Malta is straight up A tier. I don't think I need to explain this too much. They're cool, they're Mediterranean, you can do a lot. Taxes are European. Sri Lanka, I mean, Colombo looks beautiful, but I don't know anything about Sri Lanka and Algiers. Is there a major country that we're missing? Let me see. I think we did most of the major ones. What about in Europe? Looks like most of the major countries were done. think that somebody suggested Luxembourg. Yeah, I put them in A tier. I already put that. Turkey, they exist. They're in B tier. Armenia is missing because I have Georgia and that. I think that we covered most of Europe, actually. Obviously, like we have Andorra, Vatican, stuff like that. What about Awant? What do you think I know about Awant? I don't know too much. Let me see my view count. And I'm also starting to get a lot hungry. This stream we got a couple of donations. We peaked at 100 viewers, which is my first stream actually doing so. I am very proud of this stream. Azerbaijan has already been done. Let me see where I put them. They're here, in C tier. Alright, I'm gonna end this now. Thank you everybody for being here. I think I'm gonna make a YouTube video out of this, if it's possible. I hope that it is. You can join the Discord. Here it is. Here are all the people who have joined. And I will remain in this tab for a bit, just so you can see your name appear when you join the Discord. Yeah, thank you everybody for being here. We set a new record. Did you do iron? Yes, I did iron. Hello YouTube, I guess. Yes. You know what? I'll put this in here. You can say hello to YouTube. Everybody say hello to YouTube since I'm going to... No, don't say goodbye. Say hello to YouTube. Look at this. My timing was bad. There we go. Hi YouTube. I'm gonna use this as an intro. I hope that this makes for a good video. I think it should. 2 hours of content should be something very nice. There we go. Now we have something. Well, thank you absolutely everybody for being here. I really appreciate your support. It was a 2.5 hour live stream. I get very exhausted and I'm already starting to get hungry. So I'm gonna have some dinner. You guys can join the Discord again. And that's about it. Yeah, I'm hungry. Exactly. Thank you and see you very soon. I'm gonna upload a video in the near future. It was worth the 2 hours. Thank you for being here the whole 2 hours. I really appreciate that. I'm back and bye. Goodbye, everybody.